Okay, I'm back. These yellow units have been hammered pretty hard. But let's start at the top with moves. They can't exit the map. They're not going to move adjacent to the muse. There's no empty allied VP. Can they cause surround? There's already surround in one spot. If somebody could somehow get here, they would cause surround for him. But I don't think they can actually move there. Can they open a supply line? That's an interesting one. Does he have supply? I would say yes, because he can go right through his allies. So no worries there. Next one is only for infantry units, so not mechanized. Can they move adjacent to an allied VP hex? So we have this situation here. One, two of them could try. Here's the problem. If they move here, they're next to, well, no, the roadblock doesn't affect them until they move there, and then they have to stop because the roadblock's gonna stop their movement. So no, they cannot. One of them could move here because there's only a stack of 2. So which one has the lower number? The 15 does. So the 15 will move. Next one. Move to an empty town. No empty towns. Move adjacent to an allied unit or town to which a German unit is not already next to. Actually, that one we can do. So this one can move 1, 2, and it's adjacent to the objective town. And it has to stop because of this. Otherwise, he would have been able to take the objective. So I guess good thing we... speaking of which, this objective may have moved because we're within 2 hexes of it. Let's check that real quick. If a German unit is proximate to or within 2 hexes of the formation's army objective marker, consult the table below and roll a die. So yes, we are going to move it. And this would have happened before he took his turn, or before any movement occurred. So let's roll. I rolled an 8. Okay, so that means we're using the middle column here, okay? And this is the 6th Panzer Army. Remember, 6th Panzer Army was in Malmedy, okay? So now we got it. This is the 2nd objective. So we look at Malmedy. In an 8, it's going to go to however you pronounce 3, Pont West. And that's here, which isn't even a city. That's interesting. So it's going to be west. So we put this there. So now their objective is further to the west. Okay. This one still would do what he's doing because it's next to an allied town. That was his objective, move next to an allied town. Okay, do we have any other infantry to even move? We do, but they're all next to this. So next would be follow movement arrows. But they wouldn't do it if it breaks surround. Interesting. Okay, so I think so. Piper would go first. Piper's, yeah, my battery's low. I'm getting a from all angles here. Piper's movement arrows is to go into there. He can't. So he's not doing anything. This is the next stack, 2, 3, and 4. Their movement arrows are to move here or here. They can't. This one can't move because he's giving surround. These guys could move. Their primary arrow is to move away. It's interesting because that's exactly what it says to do. It does say do not move units starting adjacent to a VP hex occupied by allied units with strength less than 5. See, the problem is, oh, their strength is less than 5. So yes, they're not moving. Nobody's moving around there. So the only units left to move are these ones and this one. So this one, it's really interesting. Move closer to units army objective and adjacent to allied VP. Should I have done something with that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he can't do that. You know what? He's going to move along his arrows. So this would be 1. That would be 2. Oh no, he can't do that because the roadblock would stop him. So he's not doing that. Okay, so then we go to this one and this one. They can take the secondary arrow here, but then they have to stop. Yeah, neither of them are moving there. So now, can they move closer to the army objective? And if more than one hex is closer, move adjacent to an allied unit against which would, cause a greater than 3-to-1 advantage. Or infiltrate towards the objective. And then the very last thing it would try to do is move adjacent to an allied unit, if not already adjacent. So move closer to army objective is the next priority. The problem is we have stacking limits here. So these, with a movement of 4 and 5, this would be 1, this is 2, 3, and then this is 4, right? And then for 5, he can't move there, but he can move here. And what that satisfies is that's moving closer to the army objective, which it did. And then this one would try to do something similar. It's trying to move closer to the army objective. The roadblock is really hampering them. So he would move 1, 2, and then have to stop because of the roadblock. So roadblock helped. Otherwise, they would have actually plowed quite a bit through our territory. Somewhere along the way, I screwed up because I gave up this. I'm assuming it was this guy, so I'm going to leave him there. He was not involved in, or nope. It was this guy. And the good news is he was not involved in any of the attacks, so this guy can't move, even though he has arrows that want to move, because he would have broken surround. And that was from 2 impulses ago, or the last impulse. Not this one. Okay, so we did all that, and I'm not even going to bother calculating. There's an attack going on here. So let's figure out, he's going to do reinforced battle, which is even crazier. So now somebody else is going to join the battle. And because of the way the roadblock is, the only unit that can join the battle is this guy. So he will come up and just join the battle that way. I can't join it with the red unit here, or any of those. They have no way to move there. Okay, so it's peanut butter crazy attack time. This is 1. That's 2 and 3 for being elite. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then plus 1 because of the tactics. So 9 chits. We're almost out of the cup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There is a blue one in this cup, I verified. Okay. There is a large attack. Oh, did I want to do Tank Battalion with this one? Let me think about it. I didn't look at any of the other ones. No. Is the attacker elite? Is the attacker green? The attacker is elite. Is it greater than 3 to 1? I'm going to say yes. Oh, let's figure it out. 1, 4, 9, 19, and 5, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 to 4. Yes, it's almost 8 to 1, so it's 7 to 1. No air power. Is the defender elite? Why, yes it is. Defender artillery, nope. Attacker artillery, nope. IP crossfire, nope. Dispersed or unsupplied, nope. Okay, so we had some interesting outcome here. First of all, they're in a town, so let me scoot these down so you can see. We're in a town, so one hit is canceled automatically. This one cancels a hit, so I'm just going to cover up that. But we still get 1, 2, 3 hits. And if I retreat, I take a hit, no matter what. So I could actually retreat twice. One of my units would die. So let's say I retreat once. One of the units would die, but the other one would stay alive. Then I can retreat a second time, and the other unit that unit that was still alive can retreat just fine. But then I have to apply a third hit, which would kill the unit. So I lost my units. The Germans won. So 2 more units, it means another victory point for the Germans. They are now up to 4. And they're going to get 2 more because they just took the city. Well, here's what's interesting, though, is we just applied 1, 2, 3 hits on them. Okay, so now there's this really weird rule. It took all 3 of their hits, by the way, to kill us. So if all defending units are eliminated in a German attack and Allied hits remain unfulfilled, I think what that means is that German hits on Allied units remains unfulfilled. Reduce the number of hits that are done to the Germans. I think the wording of that language is just awful. So, but the problem is there is no extra hits on Allied units. It took all 3. So 1, 2, 3 hits are being done on the Germans. And that's actually quite interesting because they have been getting hit hard. So even though they're winning, they're taking a lot of damage. So there's no 4-pip units out there. So now it becomes, this is 2, 3, 4 pips. This is 2, 4, 6. This stack is going to be the first to go. And it's going to be the highest numbered unit, which is this one. So that's the first step loss. So now we go to the second and third. So I'm going to roll for the second. I rolled a 7. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. I'm pretty sure I roll for this situation. Okay, so the 7, is it less than the hold value? The hold value is 5. Nope. Is it less than a number of steps? And the answer is yes. So there's more hits coming. So it's got to be one of these other stacks. And so there's 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So the Piper unit has to take the hit. Do I have another Piper unit? Yes, I do. I have ooh, I almost dropped all my pieces on the floor. I do. I have a single step Piper unit out here. So he takes a hit. And then these two stacks have gone. The only stack left that has more than one step is this one. So he takes the third hit. Now, why are they doing that? Well, because the number of steps is still more than 7. So 3, 6, 9, I mean, there's 10 steps there. And they're doing it because if they would have taken the disperse, then they wouldn't have been able to take the town, I guess. So bracketed units do not advance, but mechanized units will. And Piper is up to 21 now. He's not the first unit to go. So these units are still full strength. So this one would move in no matter what. So they're up to 6 victory points now. And then would they advance a second? They would follow the path of retreat and their primary arrow. So yes, they move up to there. So now the next one, this is empty, so he would move in, and yes, he would move up. The next one is Piper. It says do not advance out of the VP hex if allied supply is traceable to it. The good news is it's not. So Piper would move up, but now we're at our 3 stack limit, so then this one would go in and just stop. And he would go into it because it's a VP hex. And nobody's there. Okay, so our situation up north is pretty fickle. But man, oh man, we've pounded the crap out of them. They have paid for every piece of ground with their own German blood. That is for certain. But we don't have much in the way of stopping them at this point, but it is our turn. And we have this card, and I'm going to play it, and we're going to activate our units. So what I'm going to do is this one is going to lose its disruption marker. That's what happens at the end of our turn. And then this one, I'm actually thinking I'm going to retreat and just stay on top of him, or I'm going to join him, basically. So I'm going to just stick it out the side, because he's not going to be low supply after this, unless somehow they go again. So now it's the Germans' turn. It would be helpful to be in a town, but, or actually, you know what I could do? I can leave that there, and in doing so, I can actually put an improvement marker on him. So I'm going to do that instead, and I'm going to hold that intersection. That might be stupid of me to do, but I'll try it. So let's draw 2 more cards for the Germans. There's no, the 4 here is the priority, so the 5th Panzer Army, oh my gosh. No, no, no. So Bridge Engineers is the event. Let's see if there's anything else that's gonna happen with that event. Okay, Bridge Engineers. If a bridge is eligible, repair it. You have to have both hex sides free from Allied zone of control. If no bridges are eligible, check for unbridged river hex sides eligible for bridge building. A river hex side is eligible if a new bridge there would allow German units able to trace supply. Okay, so as far as broken bridges go, we're still here and here. This unit is still causing zone of control here, so we can't repair bridges. Is there a way to make a bridge that would create a supply route? Here's what's funny is if I were them, I'd make a bridge right here so I can get across. But I don't think there's a supply issue that a bridge would solve. So, actually this one, he only gets to go one space over, and then of course his supply is fine. He's got fine supply, but if he built a bridge here, he would be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, you know what I mean? He would be able to go 4 spaces, but that's not an issue for him. This one, by moving one over, is fine too. You know, it's just not happening. So that means this card is gonna stay as a support card because there's nothing for the event to do. Okay, so the 5th Panzer Army is going, and so we need to pick a spot. So like this one, and he's going to activate everything within 2 hexes. So this one won't activate, but everything else will. And it's non-bracketed units, most non-bracketed units. So there is a stack of 2, 3 units here. So if I pick a spot like here, I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. If I pick there. If I pick here, I lose 2 units from this. I only gain 1, so that's not going to work. If I go here, I get 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Did I really count 2 there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one actually has 8. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, the rules do say that you're going to pick the one that's furthest away from the objective. So that's something that's in favor of these guys. But let's say I picked here. Now we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this spot's winning. And it's because of this stack of 3. We don't get to count this one. He doesn't count. But this one does. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because we're here, we still get to count this for 6, that for 7, 8, and that for 9. Why am I only counting 9 now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, that's the spot. And we probably could, you know, there's that, there's a marker. I don't know where I put it. It's the camp wagon or the camp grouping. Here it is. Camp group command. So we're going to put that there so we can keep track of what we're doing. This is going to activate the most units. So the priority is most units first. If there's a tie, then it's furthest away from the objective. So unfortunately, these guys were close, but not quite. So now we got to do movement with all these guys, and this is going to be crazy. We know for a fact that nobody's going to move if they're next to a VP city, which I don't think anybody, well actually these, no, they're not active. Okay, exit the map, move adjacent to the Muse. Nope, nope. Move into empty allied VP hex. Nope. Move to hex closer to unit's army objective and adjacent to an allied VP. I don't think he can do it because this is forcing him to spend 3 movement points to go here, and that's 3 more to go there. So he can't get next to a VP hex. So not happening. Cause surround. Now this is an interesting question. This one can't move because he would be he would cause the surround to go away. Can I cause surround on this guy? I highly doubt it. Although I can go 1. Yeah, see they have zone of control here and here, so we can't do that. I can't cause surround for him unless I have units up here helping me. So the only one that would possibly cause surround is here, but I would need to get to this spot. And I don't think I can, because this guy can only go across the river and that's it. So I cannot get to that spot. That's why I left him there. So I don't think they can cause surround. So now it's only the non-mechanized units. Can they move adjacent to an allied VP hex? The only non-mechanized unit available is this one. Actually, this one too. No, they can't. Enter a town that's only occupied by German armor. No. Move adjacent to allied unit or town to which no non-bracketed Germany infantry unit is already adjacent. This one is the only one adjacent, so he's staying. And in fact, his move is over, according to the rule. Next is that follow movement arrows thing. So this one can't, because his primary direction would put him next to here and he'd have to stop. There is no secondary direction for him to take, so he can't. But we gotta go in order here. So let's start with the lowest number. Here's a 3, and his arrow tells him to go here, and then his primary would tell him to go there, but we can't, so he would go here for, so this is 1, and this would be 2 more for 3, and that's 4, and that's 5. So yeah, he moved according to his arrows. He's going off into La La Land, but sure. And this one would do the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's not moving. These would be, this is the next guy, but he's not moving because he's already next to something. That one's the next one, 4, 6, and then 10. He could go here for 1, but that would stop him. He would go here for 2, 3, and there for 4, but that's not enough for his movement. So he's not going. None of them are. They're not moving, at least according to that movement rule. This one, same deal. This one, however, is going to go 2 to there, 3, 4, and then 5, because he's following the arrows. You know what? I think there is actually some genius to this, because they're basically running to the muse. That's what they're doing, even though the objective is down here. Interesting. And now they're in position to actually take some VP hexes next time. So it's really weird how this is playing out, and the Germans are kicking my butt. Okay, next. Move closer to the army objective and then also next to an allied unit if possible. And that is going to happen. So like, for example, this one well, let's gotta do it in order. We gotta start back here. Jesus. Okay. 5 movement points. So I can move here for 1. This would be 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I can move to here. And then the next one can also move to there. Okay, so, but this one only has 5 movement points, so he can move 1, 2, 3, 4, then he's stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, that's not moving closer to the objective. So what he can do then is he can just move 1, 2. That's closer to the objective, and he's gonna just join that stack. Because those guys are activating, these guys are activating, and they did. This one's not. These ones are not activating. This one will. So he's gonna go 1, 2, 3. Because each of those only costs 1 movement point for him, So, oh Jesus. Yeah, these guys are all full strength. All right, so now we got a situation where we're gonna do a check, starting with the lowest number, that's these guys. I'm gonna check here. So we have 3, 5, 8, 12, 16, 20, 22 versus 4. But the check adds +1 for the improved position. So what was this again? 3, 5, 8, 12, 16, 22 to 5. So that's 4 to 1 odds. They're attacking. We don't even roll a die for that one. Okay, so they're gonna draw a card, or no. Well, first of all, they're gonna do this thing called press the attack. I don't even know what that does. It doesn't sound good. Press the attack. They draw 1 extra combat chit. Yay, yay team. All right, so we're gonna draw a card for them. And it's assault coordination. So thankfully that doesn't do anything other than give them an extra chit. So they're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for elite, 6, 7. They don't get 1 for that. And then 8, 9 for the 2 combat tactics, and then 10 because that's what press the attack does. So they're drawing 10. Woo. Are we gonna lose our armor? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. So all these are going back in. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By the way, this is the last German impulse because we drew the last card as part of this. So we get to do an impulse, but we have no cards. So this is going to be the final turn for December 17th. Let's see how this comes out. All right, so now let's figure out the real odds. We said that this was 22 to 4, so that's 5 to 1 odds. Is there defender artillery? No. No. Nope. Is the attacker green? If any one unit is green, then the answer is yes. No. Is the attacker elite? Yes. Is it greater than 3 to 1? Yes. Is it broken or clear? Or is it forest or city? It's actually woods, which sucks. Is the defender green? No. Is it elite? No. Is it greater than 1.5 to 1? Yes. Greater than 8 to 1? Greater than 4 to 1? Yes. Is it clear? Is it woods? Yes. City or forest? No. Broken or clear? No. Okay, so we have an improved position marker. So I'm going to destroy the improved position marker and cancel 1 hit. Okay, we have this wood, forest, and city, which cancels a hit, so I'm going to get rid of another one. But we take 2 hits, and I'm going to just retreat twice, and I have to retreat this way. That's the only safe way to, no, I can retreat through a unit just fine, and retreat again, and then I become disrupted. So I didn't take any actual damage, but he did. We did 1 damage to him, and the good news is I don't think he gets to cancel that because we're not disrupted. He didn't do assault coordination. Oh, yes, he did. He did assault coordination, so he gets to cancel that attack. That's part of his advantage. So all he did was force us to retreat, which is fine, but nobody took any damage on either side. So here you have it, folks. We're in the end of December 17th, and he's really broken through. The bulge is definitely bulging. And I thought he was a little crazy, but he's actually got VP spots in his path. And no units in his way. I've been trying to get my reserves out and use them, but he's actually thwarted me in a lot of spots. I'm actually quite happy with the south. I think I have that shored up pretty well. I do want to activate these guys one time to get some reinforcements here because he is down to one single step. But I could just get one of these units there and I'm golden. Here, I'm definitely bending, but I'm not breaking. I got some units that are holding on. Up here, I am broken. They're just charging through and there's nothing in stopping them. I do have all these armor, but I have no activations. So I haven't been able to do anything with them. I'm holding this VP hex like stout. I am still surrounded here, so some bad things are gonna happen there. I did fail to do a check here, but trust me, this is over a river. There was no success in that check. The north is lost. I've lost all possible spots except for these two units up there, which are now in supply jeopardy. But the fact of the matter with that is, this must have got bumped. The fact of the matter is, they did bust through. I do have some units to help defend the city, so the big mega points are possibly going to be defensible. But they've taken a lot of hits. So that's a very damaged core there. And if I can just get any form of line formed, they're going to be in trouble. So anyways, it's the end of December 17th. Take a sneak peek to the, well, first of all the chits go in, all the disruption markers go away. So that's why I'm happy about that. What else happens? We're gonna go start a new day. So December 18th would start. The first thing we would do is the reserve phase. By the way, folks, it's late at night. I'm not gonna be able to do the commands, but I'm gonna try to at least do the initial stuff here, maybe the supply checks, and get the cards set up so that way we're ready to do impulses for the next video. So we would advance to the 18th. And this giant stack of reserves is finally going to help me. Okay, so you can see the supplemental cards are 6, the hand size is 5, that's for us. The delayed reserves rule kicks in. The German detachments relief kicks in, replacing detachments with infantry, generating German detachments, VP loss for Allied occupied West Wall, which is interesting. I probably should try to start occupying some West Wall. I never even thought about that, but unfortunately I don't have any Allied occupied West Wall. We come over to here, and let's see if I can get this situated so you can see fairly well. I guess that's good enough. Okay, so the first thing that's happening is, if you can see here, on December 18th, 2 supplemental cards are being added to the game. And the supplemental cards is actually the First Army card, Hodges. And then a couple divisions from the First Army, which are in the Airborne Corps. So those are the 2 being added, and I'm just going to add those to the supplemental card pile. The primary cards, there's only 4 of them. They get added to my draw pile. And then the supplemental pile, we have to shuffle. And I think they said the answer was 6, right? 6 of them are getting added to my deck. So I'm going to flip these over, and then we're going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 3 that are not going to be grabbed. They go into the available supplemental pile, and then these also flip over and go to the available supplemental pile. So this is my deck for this particular day. Still not very big, if you ask me. That's the biggest struggle with this, is that they get to go run rampant on you and you don't have much. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is our hand size. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in our draw pile. Okay, so that's it for us. Now for the Germans, remember we read that rule, so they don't get actually any reinforcement cards until the 19th. But even then, those cards don't get added to the deck until the Army Group B card comes up. And you just saw how the Army Group B card came up as a tactic card, which is crazy because that means that their reinforcements didn't actually come out. They still don't have any reserve units. So I'm just shuffling their deck, and they're going to be by the way, sleeving these cards, I know I've mentioned this before, but it was huge. It makes shuffling them so much easier. These cards weren't the best quality. The D-Day ones were a lot better. Okay, so we did the reserve phase. We are on December 18th, so we would deploy any delayed by 2-day Allied reserves. Well, that hasn't happened. I've been so anxious to get my reserves deployed. That's not even funny. Speaking of which, what did we get? Let's take a quick peek. We got some more of these guys, which we just need to activate them in order for us to be happy. Holy cow, look, we got a whole bunch of them. That's good. It's very good. We got some 101st Airborne. Oh, look at this. We got a giant stack of those. We got another 10th Armor. The 101st Airborne is a nice stack, and then more 10th Armor. Okay, so this will obviously help with Bastogne defense. And then this is just exactly what we needed to bust up the northern attack. And the this breakthrough here. Because we should be able to get them. I won't be able to cover Manhay, but I should be able to get them into whatever this one is. La Roche. That's 3 spaces away, so let's check real quick. The 5 cards we drew, and ding ding ding, winner chicken dinner, we drew the exact one that we need right there. So that would be the first card we would play, and that would allow us to get them deployed and protect some VP hexes all along the northern front there. We actually have some pretty awesome cards to start out with. So very happy there. Now, the other thing is if I can find a card that has air power, or whatever that card is, I can actually make it so we go first, and then the Germans don't get to go first, but I don't have one. I do have an interesting card, because this is December 18th. It's called Break in the Clouds. It's a special event. It would require me to use my 12th Corps card, but remember this is a supplemental card. See how it doesn't have the primary on the bottom? So that means my 12th Corps card that's primary is still in my deck, because I'm always guaranteed my primary cards, and I have 1 primary card for every Corps I have in the game. It's the same as the German solo. So I know I can play this for the event and still get a 12th Corps card at some point. Okay, what does Break in the Clouds mean? I don't know. It's a special event. Let's see what it would do for us. We drew it on the 18th, which is the only day you're allowed to play it. This day only, during all combats on this day, you may play any card as an air power combat tactic. Oh my gosh. That could be pretty nice. But that requires playing a lot of cards, which I don't have. Okay, that's a mixed bag. All right, card prep phase is done. Next is supply phase. We have to do this thing called generate German detachments. Conduct detachment generation check for each detachment marker. German occupied town and unoccupied west wall HV hex on the map. Place new detachment markers. So this is brand new, folks. I've never done this yet. I'm looking to see if the player aid has something for detachments, and they do, right here. So we have German detachment markers. Place in printed HV hexes that become vacant during German movement and advance. I was supposed to do that on turn 17. Oh, I didn't know that. And then on turn 18, we do a detachment generation check for each detachment marker. Okay, I'm gonna have to read the rules. So the properties, it doesn't move, attack. I mean, it's just like the D-Day games. It has a zone of control during supply phase. Allied unit may not enter a detachment hex. You must stop. It's sort of like a roadblock. If an Allied unit begins an activation adjacent, it gets removed. If a German unit ever enters it, it gets removed. During the end of day phase, Allied or German supply cannot be traced, it gets removed. And then on turn 18, activation step 4. Replace detachment with a reserve unit. That's only if you have a reserve unit. Check every detachment in German-occupied town. If in both German and Allied supply, place a new detachment in empty HV hex in German and Allied supply within 2 hexes. Okay, I think we can handle this. So I was supposed to place one if I ever moved or advanced, and a place became vacant. So here's a perfect example of something that became vacant. Clerval here, this little town. So what we would do is we would put a detachment there. So I don't know if I necessarily need this anymore, but I'll just put the detachment over top of it. This one is one I don't think we moved or vacated last turn, but right now I would do that as part of this step because it says if it's in German and Allied supply. So the question is it in Allied supply? I would say yes it is, because, well, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, so I wouldn't do anything with that one. This reminds me a lot of the roadblock crap. So I would put one way up north here. I'd put a detachment there, and I would also put a detachment here, technically speaking. So I think there might be a few other places to put a detachment, but frankly, I think that's all we have to do. I mean, it does say to put it in west wall hexes as well, but the whole thing with a detachment is if there's a German reserve unit in the reserve pool, then a detachment can get replaced with a German unit. So these detachments are important for towns that are near allies. And it has to be in Allied supply. And it has to be an HV hex, so hold value. So there's like a number 4 here. This one has a number 3. This one has a number 4. So that's what's important about it. There's HV hexes here. For example, this is a 2 and that's a 3, but we didn't vacate those particular spots. So anywhere else that has an HV value, if we vacated it on December 17th, we could put a detachment there. The detachment does help with supply, because it has a zone of control only for supply, and it has, like I said, the ability, especially like here, because there's allied units near it, if there was a German unit in a reserve pool, this could be replaced with a reserve unit during the activation check. But right now there's no German units in the reserve pool, so that detachment just stays the way it is. So what this is saying is in the supply phase, we have to check every detachment in German-occupied town and make sure they're still in supply. It has to have both German and Allied supply, and we would place a new detachment in any HV hex on the board, which is interesting. In German and Allied supply if in both German and Allied supply, place a new detachment in an empty HV hex in German and Allied supply within 2 hexes of existing detachment or town and not adjacent to Allied unit. Also place detachment markers in unoccupied west wall HV hexes to which German and Allied supply can be traced. So we're placing new ones now. So it has to be Allied supply traceable. So for example, I can trace supply to here because I can still take supply along this road. So this unit can supply there. So for example, a detachment goes here. It's just any empty HV. However, I have an Allied unit here still. So technically that attachment doesn't happen. But so if we scroll more to here, see that little 2, oh, nope, I have an Allied unit here. So never mind. I'm just speaking randomly. Technically speaking, Allied supply, I can go 1 space across, and then, but this exerts zone of control. So I cannot. This one is not in Allied supply, so never mind. And what's interesting is it's anywhere that's German and Allied, so this one. Is in Allied supply and German supply. So I'm going to assume we put a detachment there. So it has to be within 2 hexes of an existing detachment or town. Yeah, that's not within 2 hexes of an existing detachment or town. And I'm assuming town, when it says town, it means town that's occupied by the Germans. So the only places that would be is this one, in fact. One's going to go there. Because I can go to here and trace supply for allies, and it's within 2 of a detachment. So not as many as you would think. Okay, this is actually annoying. This is as annoying as the roadblocks. It's almost like Butterfield has to put something annoying. I was so much enjoying this game until I had to do this. Okay, fair enough. So now we do supply check. These ones actually are in supply now. These 2, however, are degrading. So they went from low supply to out of supply. Oops. So they degraded. December 18th, I don't think the Germans are doing supply checks yet. Let me check. Nope, not until the 19th. So only the Allies can be out of supply. And I'm just looking everywhere else. The Germans are lucky they're still in supply in a few spots, but they are. Oh, these units up here might be in trouble. This one can go 1, 2, 3. He's fine, and then this one can go 1, 2, 3, 4. They're actually both in supply, so those two are fine. It's just these two Allied units here. And actually this one is in a pickle. He's in a VP hex that no one's contesting, but if these two roads get blocked off, he actually could be out of supply very soon. It's pretty interesting. Okay, I don't have an air power card, so I can't make the Germans lose 2 cards and skip an impulse. So they will get to go when we resume. So good night, everybody. Stay awesome. I still have a lot of chores to do. I've already played a lot more than I said I would be able to this week. But that's I'm a board game addict. That's how it works. So I'm hoping to continue, actually. There's been a lot of new rules being triggered here. So it'd be nice to see how those play out. And man, oh man, I had to make a lot of decisions and read rules and interpret them this past couple hours. So I hope I didn't butcher it too bad for you guys. I think I got it mostly right. The one that really bothers me is these detachments. Let me just say this real quick. If you're going to write me and tell me a detachment is supposed to go here, here, and here, and you don't explain why, you're not helping me. I mean, obviously you're helping me because I can fix the board. I appreciate it from that much, but I need to understand